Hey guys, we had a great question in our retail real estate investing course that I wanted to make a quick video on to show you guys how I model step-up leases. So the question was, how do you model a step-up lease in Excel? And a step-up lease is essentially a commercial lease for a retail or office or industrial tenant that has some sort of irregular step up. So you might start the lease at $10,000 a month, but then at a certain time, that rent might jump up to $10,300 a month, or maybe $11,000 a month, or maybe the rent is consistent over a 2, 3, 5, 10-year period, but then there's a big jump after that. So how do you actually go about modeling that? And how can you do that in a dynamic way? So that's what we're going to go over in this lesson. So as you'll notice, we have a little bit of a mini model here. So we have our analysis start date up here, and that's when our analysis is going to begin. So this is perfect for if you're going to buy a property or you're analyzing a property for purchase and you want to start your analysis based on when you'll close escrow and when you'll close on the property. You can use this analysis start date to do that. So as with all of my models, this is a blue manual input, which means it drives the model. So if you change this metric to a different date, so say we change this to 12/1/2017 and hit enter, you're going to have a different value over here. And that's going to drive the model as well. So I'm going to undo that. And now we can jump into our lease terms. And our lease terms, this is really just meant to model base rent. And again, these are blue manual inputs, so you can change these and the model will change as well. So if we wanted to change this to the start date of 1/1/2015 and change this to 12/31/2020, we could do that. So we could make this, instead of 11, we could make this 71 months, and that would change this to 12/31/2020. And then we would have $10,000 a month in rent flowing up here all the way out through 12/31/2020. So I'm going to undo that, but just wanted to show you guys what the capability is here. And then finally, we have our rent per month of $10,000. So again, all of these things are blue manual inputs. So what I would do is I would take that commercial lease that you have, type in the start date, type in the end date of each of the rent escalations, and type in your rent per month, and that should all flow correctly into this model. So now let's get to the meat of the lesson, which is how do you actually create this formula and what is this formula made up of? So there's essentially two parts to this, and we're going to go over this in those two steps. So if I click on cell G2 and I hit F2 to go up into the formula bar, we have a couple of formulas here. So first we're starting with an if error function. And the if error function essentially says if there is an error when you try to calculate this specific formula, then I want you to return a different value. So we're just telling Excel, instead of returning an NA or error formula, what we want you to do is return a specific value if there is an error. So what I have here is I want Excel to return 0. And the reason why is because the way that this formula is calculating, if we have an error message, that means that it's outside of our lease term. So the tenant would be paying $0 in rent during that time, but we're still in our analysis period. So we want to return 0 there because we're not going to be receiving any rent during a time that the tenant is not in the suite and not paying rent. So the way I'll describe the lookup function is essentially as a whole. So what this lookup function is doing is it's saying, Excel, we want you to look for this specific value. So if I go back into this cell, what I'm looking for is 3/1/2019. And what I'm asking Excel to do with this lookup function is essentially say, where does 3/1/2019 fit in between these two columns? So we're looking at 1 divided by B5 to B20 is less than or equal to G1, divided by C5 to C20 is greater than or equal to G1. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to have Excel return the row where this is between this value and this value. So it's going to automatically find this for us. Then once Excel has done that, we want to have Excel return a result vector. And the result vector is going to be the rent per month that we want to return. So again, 3/1/2019, Excel is going to look and find where that fits in between these two columns, and then it's going to take that corresponding row in that rent per month calculation. So if I hit enter right here, we have our lease rent. Now what you'll notice is that we start the analysis on 3/1/2019. So what we should have here is $11,255, which we do. Now our rent should change on January 1st, 2020, and it should be $11,593. So let's look over here and make sure that's the case. So we're looking for January 1st, 2020, so the month ending January 31st, 2020, and there we go. We have our rent changing to $11,593. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you want to download this model, you can. It's in the description box, so click the link below and you can download the model. If you want to check out this course on retail real estate investing, the link is also in the description as well, and you can check that out. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.